My field experience was with Dr. Tom Keppel, president of the American Academic Leadership Institute, or AALI, and president emeritus of Juniata College. For my field experience, I attended the AALI Executive Leadership Academy in Washington, D.C. The Executive Leadership Academy is a leadership development program to prepare college and university vice presidents for presidencies. Highlights of the program can be summarized in three key areas: quote unquote, God on a good day, the big questions, and the leadership team. To prepare for the experience, I read several articles, some from the reading list for the participants for the Academy, and some of which I located on my own. And the premise of many of the articles is that the university environment and university presidency is becoming increasingly complex. And because of this, universities have high expectations for presidential candidates, hence the quote, God on a good day. Three factors stood out from the speakers I heard at the Executive Leadership Academy. First, to become a president, you must carefully consider the commitment, including the commitment of your family. Second, you must have the requisite experience to do the job. And third, you must have acquired the necessary competencies to become successful as a president. Dr. Jay Lemons, president of Susquehanna University, gave a great presentation on trends and challenges in higher education as they relate to the presidency. And two presidential competencies that he emphasized are budgeting and the enrollment management process. Additionally, he asked participants to think deeply about the big questions in higher education, and you see those questions on the slide, and he encouraged the participants to not get mired down by all the doom and gloom that we see in the headlines. Dr. Muriel Howard's presentation on the President's Cabinet was fascinating. She spoke to what presidents most look for in the leadership team: loyalty, energy and enthusiasm, the ability to innovate, the capacity to evolve and change, great communication skills, student-focused leadership, the capacity to introduce and scale new programs, and the willingness to take risks and fail. Something she said really struck me. The cabinet needs to know the right questions to ask the president to advance the institution's mission. Additionally, she spoke about how the cabinet performs a dual role with horizontal responsibilities within their division and the cross-divisional responsibilities that advance the institution's mission. Finally, she said presidents need to set the rules of engagement with the cabinet, being clear on how decisions will be made and how to disagree. In reflecting on my field experience, I see the great value it brought to advancing my research interest, leadership in higher education, for my work in my dissertation. Additionally, I realized how well the IU Higher Ed program is preparing us to be leaders, as so many of the questions the participant asked were things that we have been covering and studying in our classes. I think I may have also discovered some additional career options, higher education policy, and working as a search consultant perhaps. And finally, the connections I made were really valuable for my professional development. I joined two ongoing professional development interest groups, Finance and Budgeting and Higher Education Reading Group, both of which will be meeting later on this week by teleconference.